Hello friends, welcome back to part 28 of my Tesla earnings forecast review series. In this video, I will just share my desktop right now and launch into the content. So where we left off, we were looking at the Q3 2022 non-GAAP EPS forecast that I had of $1.36, and I kind of ended the video right there because we just got to the end of the income statement. I wanted to make that video very short. I've been trying to think since then what to do with the rest of the content that I covered after this, and I think what I want to say is to just go broad brushstrokes and say, hey, we covered, and go back and watch these videos if you're interested in them. We covered stuff like PEG and looked at a couple of different ways, another one's not even on the screen here, a couple of different ways of looking at valuing Tesla, and by those measures, Tesla is trading below where I think the company ought to be valued based on my forecast for future earnings, on which all of these numbers depend, right? So what I want to say about that is I'm expecting Tesla's earnings to grow by a lot, and in order to make my forecast, I've had to make assumptions about stuff that I have very low confidence in. So one of those things is full self-driving. There are huge questions surrounding how quickly Tesla will be able to make lots of progress on full self-driving. And the reason that I say that is Tesla has been underestimating how difficult it is to make a computer drive safer than a human being for many, many years now. So they're very optimistic that they're close to having a product that can drive safer than a human being can. But the task of driving is extraordinarily complicated. It's not like checkers or chess where you can explain to a computer the universe and the rules and the constraints very clearly and then not have those rules get violated. Whereas driving a car around in the real world, the degrees of freedom multiply exponentially, meaning there are tons of crazy variables that come into play. The real world is messy and idiosyncratic, and anybody can go do anything on the road, and if you're going to train a car to be able to drive itself better than a human being can on average, you need it to be able to recognize, identify, and plan routes around whatever may happen to be in the road, right? So what I wanted to show you is a chart that I did not cover during the forecast review series, just to give you insight into one of the most difficult lines there is to make assumptions about, in my opinion, and that is full self-driving revenue, specifically the average full self-driving revenue at time of purchase per delivery. That's what this chart shows. Now, if you're glancing at this and thinking, wow, James, you're forecasting tremendous growth in that revenue line, you're right, I am expecting that over the next few years and quarters, Tesla is going to be able to start making more revenue per vehicle delivered from full self-driving, because I expect that Tesla will be successful at getting full self-driving features to be more valuable to more people, and for the awareness of that to grow as time goes by. The more people who recognize that those features are great, the more of them will want to buy it with their vehicle purchase, and the more Tesla will be able to charge for those features. So is Tesla going to raise the price of FSD beyond $20,000? Well, they're at $15,000 already. Now we're back here, Q2 of 2022. The actual was $1,128 per vehicle FSD revenue. I'm expecting that to grow a lot, but the seriousness of this ramp up and how quickly I'm expecting it to happen present risk in this forecast, right? So what I wanted to emphasize in this video is that it gets harder and harder to forecast stuff the further out into the future you try forecasting. Could Tesla beat this $20,000 FSD revenue per vehicle in 2025? Yeah. Could they beat it by a lot? Yeah, they could beat it by a multiple of this, right? So I could be way, way under. Could it take Tesla way longer to make FSD features this valuable? Yeah, it could, in which case these would need to shift out in my forecast farther into the future, 2026, 2027, whatever. I don't have high confidence in this part of my forecast, but it's a big reason why the earnings grow by as much as they do. Now, what I hear the Tesla haters in the community shouting at their screen right now is, well, what happens if Tesla doesn't figure it out for those extra couple of years and this revenue isn't there to produce all those earnings that you're forecasting? Well, I'll tell you, what happens is Tesla will still be producing record earnings. They'll just be smaller numbers than what I'm forecasting, right? So here's my non-GAAP earnings line. I'm going to scroll out here into the future. Here's 2023. All of these numbers are larger than all of these numbers, right? I'm expecting all-time record numbers here. So if full self-driving doesn't get a lot more valuable very quickly, then instead of numbers this big, we'll get numbers that are less big than this, but still all-time records. Same thing out here, 2024. These are awfully big numbers, but whatever you forecast, it will be wrong. These are not going to be the 2024 numbers. That's a while from now. That's a year and a half out at the start of the year, and then 2.5 years out at the end of the year. So this is a long way into the future, and it's not possible for me to have high confidence in what these numbers are going to be. So if it takes Tesla a lot longer to solve FSD, safer than a human being driver, then these numbers are too high. But if they figure it out, on time or ahead of time and decide they want to charge more for that feature, Tesla may just blow these numbers out of the water completely. We've got a few years yet to wait to find out. So that's the point of this video, is to say, hey, forecasting is fun and good entertainment and enjoyable for people who are holding Tesla stock to argue about and talk about, but nobody knows at this point what the earnings will be that far out, even the people who work at Tesla. All right. So that's this video. If you've enjoyed today's video, click the like button. It's free to click the like button in YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything. You might burn 1 calorie moving your mouse over and clicking on the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, you could go ahead and subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish fresh content to YouTube. And I will see you in the next one.